It's the final round of the AFL regular season and the final Friday night regular season matchup. We have the Demons up against the Pies. Now, both teams out of finals contention. Hard to pick who's going to show up in this game. My predictive models that uses the season and point scoring from both last season and this season has Melbourne to win the game. But the bookies have installed Collingwood as the favourites, and actually I tend to believe that is probably the better pick. So I'm going to take Collingwood to cover the line, 5.5 points. I've found it at the moment. I just think that they're a little bit more hungry and they have much better form coming into this game. I don't see a lot of defense being played in this one. I think that without finals on the line, these guys are just going to kind of open it up, let it rip and have fun in the last game of the season for both teams. The margins have been historically quite close between these two teams in the last couple of years. So the 5.5 is a pretty good number, and it could be just a couple of kicks in this game in the end, as we've seen in a number of games between these two teams in the last couple of years. Collingwood's record against Melbourne is quite solid. So they've won 6 of the last 8 games in the regular season, as well as winning a qualifying final against them just a few years ago. The Pies also won earlier this season, 89-51, kicking 14 goals in that game. And they've kicked 10 or more goals in 6 of their last 8 games against Melbourne, going back to the 2019 season. They've won 3 of the last 4, with the only loss coming against Sydney just a couple of weeks ago. And they're giving up only 78.75 points per game to their opponents over that little period. So their defense has got a bit more structure in it towards the end of the season, even though, again, they were bundled out of finals contention a little bit earlier on. Melbourne have the worst handball efficiency of any team in the AFL, hitting at 78.4%. So against that kind of tougher Collingwood defence, I would expect that number to either stay there or be a little bit worse, possibly. They've lost 4 of the last 5 coming into this one, and 2 of their opponents have kicked more than 100 points in those games. I like the over in this one. As I said at the beginning of the video, I think defense is probably not going to be a massive issue in this one. They're probably going to get out there and want to kick goals and pass the ball around and enjoy the last game of this season. So if you don't want to pick the side, I think the total, it is a little bit larger than what my model has predicted. But in saying that, I think it only takes 2 or 3 kicks to get over that number, and I think it's going to go over. On the season, we're at 53% for the game total over. Over the last 3 seasons, the over has had the majority in all 3 seasons, and it has ranged between about that 51 to 54, 56% mark for the over. I expect a couple of other games this weekend to go under, so this is one of my over picks that I think will hold that kind of 53-54% on this season. So that's the last Friday AFL game. Don't forget to check out our channel over the summer. We'll be looking at a lot of NBL action, also the Big Bash League and Australian men's cricket over the whole summer. So enjoy the last weekend of the AFL finals just around the corner, and don't forget to gamble responsibly.